I thought this is a good segue for us to start to getting into talk about BJJ a little bit more.
Okay, yeah.
So for me, just started. One of the first things what I definitely noticed is that it's just the certain moves and certain things are so unusual. And even though I would consider myself being in good shape, I've been training pretty much all my life, doing stunts, doing different stuff.
Yep.
I still was like almost every time after I done my class, I was just done. I could come home, fall in bed, and fucked.
Yep.
Do you remember? Well, for you it's so different because you did wrestling so much. But like, still, how was that transition for you from wrestling to BJJ? Did you continue still doing wrestling, or you stopped wrestling and then did BJJ purely?
I mean, I started BJJ for MMA.
Right.
So my career path isn't solely devoted to jiu-jitsu.
Mm-hmm.
So I was doing everything, like wrestling all the time, kickboxing, boxing,
Mm-hmm.
and jiu-jitsu. So, But as far as like, you know, coming from a combat sports background and that one-on-one competition, that was very normal to me. Like I imagine somebody who's coming in a little bit later into jiu-jitsu where they have to test themselves physically against another person when they haven't grew up doing it could seem a little bit abnormal. I see it's people either do two things. They don't like it and it's not for them, which is it's completely fine. If you're not gonna like one-on-one competition, physical competition, jiu-jitsu is probably not for you. But then you see people that are kind of like, all right, they're weird about it. I don't know. And then they fall in love with it. And so it's like kind of those two roads with jiu-jitsu. And at the end of the day, it's kind of like the one-on-one competition. As long as you're not like competing with like, you know, everybody else or a singular person, like, as long as you're like kind of competing against yourself, you're gonna fall in love with it. I mean, it's a cliche thing to say about martial arts or probably life, but like you just have to kind of compete with yourself, and then you're gonna that love for that is just gonna grow you into a better martial artist.
And then there are so many different aspects actually about BJJ. What I noticed, what you fall in love with. I think the first one for me was the community. None of the other martial arts I've done in the past, like never kickboxers. I've done kickboxing, I've done boxing, karate. I would never feel that kind of sense of like camaraderie and like just kind of. And is it because we just hugging each other all the time? And is it because and everyone really works their asses off? Like the amount of time I see guys were just literally passing out almost after they done the roll because they're so exhausted, you know.
I think for me it's an easy one to see. Because I've done both for so many years, and I love the kickboxing and boxing community, you know, but the jiu-jitsu community is something I could fall in love with even more because in jiu-jitsu, like we all have the ego, right, for martial arts or whatever it is, right? In boxing or kickboxing, you could get away with that ego a lot because you're not sparring all the time. You're not sparring hard all the time, right? And then when you do spar hard and you do have an ego, you get butt hurt a little bit. You get a lot of people get butt hurt real fast in boxing and kickboxing because they think they're here, but they find out they're here and they don't know how to deal with that. Where jiu-jitsu, you might think you're here, and you might really be here, but you're gonna get that beat out of you real fast. Like if you have an ego in jiu-jitsu and you think you're the best, you're not gonna do it for that long because every single day, we spar 100% every single time we train, right? So you can't do that in other sports. So you're getting that ego just beat out of you, right? So that's probably where that you know, we're pushing each other every single day. We all know exactly what we're going through. At the end of the day, we don't even really care if I could beat you.
Exactly.
You could beat me. Let's just get better and evolve from that. And hopefully that's what I try to do in my class. You know, we don't want that ego there. And if people have those egos, they kind of get out real fast.